along, and I have to make my way over that wire every time. Okay, pop quiz. How many of you out there took music lessons at some time in your life? Okay, here's the important question. How many of you liked your music lessons when you were a kid? Okay, pretty good average, pretty good average. For most of my years here in Elgin, I've taught piano and voice, either in my home or for a homeschool co-op. So I'm coming to you today as someone who knows, loves, and cares about music. My career has been focused around bringing that love to others, whether children or adults. My students have come from various backgrounds, some willingly, some coerced, some quite angrily. I saw my job as a music teacher not to turn each child into a prodigy, but simply as someone who could give them the gift of appreciating music in a way they never had before. Mostly, I wanted them to find joy in what we did together. I always told my students, if it isn't fun, we're doing it wrong. In my early career, I had a poster up in my music studio. Never teach a pig to sing, it said. It wastes your time and annoys the pig. I often had people tell me they couldn't sing. They couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, or they croaked like a frog, or they scared small children with their howling. I would quote an African proverb: if you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. I don't know about the walking and dancing part, but I do know about the singing. God gave us voices, and I am sure that all God's children got a place in the choir. Today is Music Sunday, and our Bible passage is rich with meaning for a day like today. Before I talk about that, let me just say that if anything I say here today opens your heart just a teeny-weeny little bit to making your own music, please see John at the end of the service. He is dying to sign you up for choir next fall. Dying.
Preach it.
Psalm 67 is a song meant to be sung by a choir. It actually comes with instructions to the leader of the choir master, that it should be sung with stringed instruments. There is a word present that people often wonder about. You may have heard it this morning and wondered, or you may have seen it previously when you're reading through the Psalms. The word is Selah. It's a musical direction, and it means take a pause and think about that last bit we just sang. It was important. Think about it before you go on. I sometimes think our hymns should come with the word Selah in it. Have you ever sung through a hymn, gotten through all 3 verses, and then at the end, really not known what you were singing? Selah, it's a good word. We should use it more often. Think about it. The heart of our psalm today says, let the people praise you, O God. Let all the people praise you. Let the nations be glad and sing for joy. Let the people praise you, O God. Let all the people praise you. The psalmist repeats his main thought. He states it first in verse 3 and then again in verse 5. Let the peoples praise you. Let all the peoples praise you. That is a prayer of great vision and daring. We are being told that our walk with God is incomplete until we are praising God, until we sing for joy at the thought of God. The psalm begins with these words: may God be gracious to us and bless us and make his face shine upon us. We said them this morning, and you probably recognize them. They are quoted from a blessing that was first given during the time of Moses. We quote from the book of Numbers and is often used as a benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. These words were given by God himself. In the story, God tells Moses to tell Aaron to use these words to bless the people. God thought this blessing was so important that he gave Aaron a direct quote to use when blessing the people. God wanted no misunderstanding. God will bless us and keep us. God will shine his face on us. God will give us grace. God will give us peace. These are direct and amazing promises from our God. And what is our usual response? Well, we usually hear them at the end of the service, so my response too often is, fine, service is over, what's for lunch? But think for a moment about God's mercy, God's blessing, the approval of God's shining face. What could our only response to that be but the pure joy of singing God's praise? During the pandemic, one of the things I heard over and over again from Christians everywhere was how hard it was not to be able to sing together in church. We do it every week, and I'm afraid we often take it for granted. Sometimes when we show up, we sing along for show or for duty. It's easy to sing simply because that is what is expected of us. If we didn't sing, it would look strange. But that's not what God wants. God wants us to sing for joy. God wants us to sing from the heart. God wants us to understand his blessings. And because he has blessed us, we have only one response. Songs of praise from the deepest part of our beings. Let the nations be glad and sing for joy. God blesses us so richly every day. God blesses us with all good gifts. God blesses us with music to bring us joy or comfort, solace, or glee. He blesses us so that we may be a blessing to others every day. God blesses us, and our only response should be praise for all God has done. What song of praise will you sing today? Selah.